Okay, so this morning's going to be a little different because I want to talk to you about what I imagine for us. What I know, what I want for me, and I'm imagining for you. And you might as well know up front. Because if you don't like it, then we'll find you somebody else. But if you like it, we might have something to work with. Now, one of the first things you need to know is that there's a little sign up here. It says, "In talk by 11:45. You probably won't ever need that from me. 15, 17 minutes is usually my maximum. I'm really on a roll if I go longer than that. I'm brought to you by something very unhealthy, a caffeine-free Diet Coke. If I forget my water, I'll have my Diet Coke. Sorry about that. That's me. So I want to talk to you about church. And one of the things that I'm going to want to do is figure out how to make this not be hollow.
It'll be inwards.
So one of the things that I've been doing since 2008 is I've been serving as the regional rep for the Southeast region, a church consultant. And what that means is I'm 411 or 911 for churches, for those who choose to call me. And I've seen some things happen over time. I've seen some things happen particularly since COVID. And I've been concerned about church. I want to see it continue. Now, you would say, well, why would you worry about that? Well, what I want to tell you is that there was an institution called the Alban Institute. Nancy, you probably are familiar with Alban Institute. Alban Institute's main goal was to make churches healthier. And I took training and read books by Alban Institute. And a number of years ago, I meant to look it up, but I didn't. They closed their doors. They said that they believed that there were only 15 Easters left for church as we know it in the United States. Since then, COVID's happened, and the jury is out on how many Easters we have left. Now, I don't know if that scares you, but it scares me because I love church. So we just got I'm using my phone because I want to read some statistics that I can't remember. I want to make sure that I read them. This is from Unity Worldwide Ministries. This is every year churches fill out an annual ministry report and send it in. They compile them. And, at one time we had 800 or 900 churches. We have 356. That tells you something, doesn't it? Let me tell you a little bit about that. Of all these churches and ministries, 94 have between 1 and 30 people. 96 have between 31 and 60. 56 have between 61 and 100. 14 have between 101 and 150. And 11 have more than 151 people. That's scary. Scary to me. The other thing that came out of that report is that ordained unity ministers, we have 19 who are over 100, 1%. We have 67 or 5% who are between 90 and 99. We have 294, which is 21%, who are between 80 and 89. We have 36%, or 501, who are between 70 and 79. We have 12% that are between 65 and 69. 8% between 60 and 64. 6% between 50 and 59. 1% are 13 ministers between 45 and 49. But I want to tell you, when you look at me, you're seeing the average. And what do we want? What do we all want? Youth. Younger churches, younger members. And so, these statistics cause me it caused my heart to hurt. It caused me to have some concern about my beloved Unity. Because I remember when I first went to Unity. I remember the difference that Unity made in my life. I don't know if you do, but I was pretty much a victim. I didn't have my stuff together. If there was a mistake that you could make, I had made it. Purposefully. If there was someone that I could be angry with at work, I was angry. You know, if they weren't nice, it made me angry. Unity changed that for me. Unity made me face the fact that I am responsible for me. I have a very exact circle of control, just like you do. Every one of us has a circle of control. And you know where that circle of control is? It's right here. This is the only thing we can control. We can't control anything else. We may think we can, but I would tell you that even as a parent, you're not controlling all of the things that go on inside your child's mind. And at school, who knows? But we have a little bit bigger circle of influence. Your circle of influence, parents, you are the circle of influence. Your children are in your circle of influence. Here in this room, many of you have this group as your circle of influence. I haven't earned that yet. As you come to know me, I may have a circle of influence here. So my goal for myself is to use my circle of control to make my life as wonderful as it can be. My goal is to use my circle of control to make your life as wonderful as it can be. And that means that there are times when I have to step back from what's coming out of my mouth at that moment. And just because you're a minister does not mean that you don't have that stuff that wants to come out of your mouth. I see that what's happening on the news, and I don't like it. But in my circle of control, what I know is if I don't find a way of making peace and doing something positive, then I'm going to be more unhappy because what makes me unhappy is going to grow. So out of all of this, I took this class, and I'm taking this class. I have one more term left. It's in September. I've been taking a class taught by Unity by Gary Simmons, and some of you have met Gary Simmons. It is called the Interim Ministry Practice. And the interim ministry practice is built on the integral ministry model, which is by Ken Wilber, who is someone that if you are real intellectual, go on YouTube and watch Ken Wilber. He's an amazing man. And he has come up with all sorts of things that can help us change church. In this class, we've been using one of two books. One is Being the Beloved Community, and the other one is I think it's Becoming the Beloved Community. This is the second book. And the information in this book carries with it the same information that's in Ken Wilber's book. There are practices, there are things that we can do that will make us more successful as a church. That's my goal. That's my desire. But the problem is I can't desire it. You got to do it. So as we go through some of these things, some of the things we'll go through, one of the first things that we'll go through is that I have asked that your board commit to taking the quantum living process, because it is a way for you as an individual, when you take this class, to become more emotionally mature. It's a way for you to be able to recognize when you have a trigger. You then learn, we eventually learn to look back and figure out where the trigger came from. My goal is for everybody in this room to have taken this class. Now, the class is pretty easy. It's like 6 hours. 7 hours maybe. We can do it over 2 or 3 days. We can do it on one Saturday. But the work is that there's worksheets in this book. And this is an old book. I'm not sure that the current book looks exactly like this. There are 21 worksheets. And what you have to do is you have to fill out a worksheet for 21 days. And every week we'll get together and we will talk about what you put on your worksheet. You don't grow spiritually if you don't grow emotionally. Emotional and spiritual maturity, it's like, you've seen strands of DNA where it's interwoven. Emotional maturity, spiritual maturity are interwoven. You can go up a little bit here, and you can go up a little bit here, but you're gonna have to keep going. Another book that we're going to be talking about are 21 Skills of Spiritual Intelligence. They've taken spirituality and broken it down to skills. And we're going to talk about those skills and how they make a difference in our life, how we put them into practice. Because it's only as you take this stuff out and use it in the world that it becomes meaningful. The last book, it's currently one of my favorite books. It's the 15 Commitments of Conscious Leadership. Now, it says it's a leadership book, but really it's a how you live book. And in here it talks about, do you want to live above the line or below the line? And above the line behavior is when you're open and you're curious. Below the line is when you have to be right. When you are defensive. When you are angry. When you are closed. When what you believe is the only way to believe. That's living below the line. We want to live above the line, where we're open to what God and the universe has for us. We want to go out in the world and make a difference. So in the quantum living in the transformational class I'm taking, there are 3 things that you have to do in the first year. And you don't have to do any of them beyond that. Even just doing the first 3 things are pretty impactful. The first thing that we do is that we don't get rid of your mission and your vision. We don't change any of that. But we adopt a purpose. And the purpose that we're going to adopt is to transform lives and encourage others to make a positive difference in the world. Can you get behind that? Yes. Can you want to have a transformed life and make a difference in the world? The second thing you do is everybody takes this class. It's not a hard class to take. The third thing that's done down the line, not immediately, after you get some of this stuff under your belt, we start some little groups called spirit groups. And we might only have 1 spirit group or 2 spirit groups to start with. What spirit groups do is they meet together and they get to know each other. They pray together. They discuss spiritual principles together. And they pick a project, an outreach project. That project could be to go feed the hungry one week. It could be to, if it's wintertime, it could be to collect blankets for the homeless or to collect socks for the homeless. It could be to adopt a school for finding a classroom and giving children books. Whatever that group comes up with, they get to decide, and then they do it together. And here's what's happening. So we're talking about transforming lives. We're doing material that will transform your life. If you take this class, your life is going to be transformed. It's going to be changed. We're going to be talking about spiritual principles. We're never going to leave unity behind. Unity goes in with every little bit. But as we get our lives changed, people are going to stand up here on Sunday and say, guess what happened? They're going to tell their story. A group's going to go out and do a project, and they're going to get up on Sunday, and they're going to tell their story about what they did. People are going to start talking about how their lives are transformed. And guess what happens when that happens? Say it louder.
The church will grow.
The church will grow.
Yeah.
Because your energy will be magnetic. The energy won't be stagnant. It won't be stale. It won't be tired. It'll be alive. And that's what I want. That's what I want to work with. That's what I want to see happen. If y'all don't want that, I'll go away. But if you want that, then you're going to have to think about it and think about, am I willing to do some work? Now, I know that you see all that stuff on television that we all see, that we're all going like this about. I think this man's name is Ilya, I can't read my writing, Pregoni or something like that. He's a Nobel laureate. Chemistry. Say it again. For good. So you heard it. You heard it from somebody that knows. He said that when the complex systems get far from equilibrium, small islands of coherence in a sea of chaos have the capacity to shift the entire system to a higher order. Small islands of coherence in a sea of chaos. And I feel like I'm living in a sea of chaos, has the capacity to shift the entire system to a higher order. That's what I want for us. If that's what you want, I think we'll have a good fit.